Hi everyone, welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hey everybody.
And today we wanted to talk about special editions and book trends and FOMO.
Because I think as everyone has seen in the last year or two, there's just special editions everywhere. Book boxes have been opening up. Not only that, but dust jackets, authors on Amazon are doing like different covers. And then Sarah had mentioned a minute ago, like before that, like just the cover changes.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like now there are a ton of different options. Like everyone has a book box and like there's a ton of covers, and it's not just like one book or series, per box. It's like there's like 4 boxes doing the same book.
Yes. So that's where it's like, okay, I'm having a hard time. And we could do, okay. So I like get really excited about some of these, right? Because I'm like,
Yes,
oh my gosh, I
so
love
do
that
I.
book. I need this. This is special. I need the special edition because it's a special thing. Like the
Hmm.
Mindfuck one, I'm like, that's special. Like this is like a
Yeah.
once in a lifetime thing. I'm getting it. I
Hmm.
haven't even read the book. And I know I'm
Sarah,
going to
Sarah,
like the
Sarah.
book and
I've
everyone
been
loves the
telling her
book. So
forever.
I'm like, I'm getting this book. And I've done that a few times where I've trusted people like Megan, who's like, Sarah, you have to get Fourth Wing. It's on Bookish Box to subscribe now. Like, just get it. You're going to want it. And if not, you can sell it, but you're going to want to keep this. Okay, Megan, I'll do it. And I did it. And I'm so happy because then I read it. I loved it. And
Yes.
I'm
And
trying to hold back because there's
hmm
so many different people doing it. And it's like, I don't have the budget or the shelf space to have 5 copies of the same book.
exactly. And it's like Fourth Wing is a really great example. Well, because everyone knows, well, a lot of people know what happened with the sprayed edges. The first edition had these sprayed edges, which was kind of game changing that the publisher did this as like a limited edition. Like once these are gone, they're gone. They sold out, and then the book got huge, and then they couldn't keep up with like manufacturing. After that, they were switching over to, the non special edges. So then those edge books that people spent like, I think it retailed for $29.99, but like on Amazon people bought it for like $19-20 on pre-order, being sold for like $300 on eBay. I saw it. I saw on eBay where sales went for like $300 for a normal published book that was in Barnes and Nobles and Books a Million. It was like all over. So that's just a normal published book that a ton of copies went out, and then it's worth all this money resale wise. And I can see now there's like, a lot of controversy over people reselling at a jacked up rate. I totally get, people resell books they don't want to, they're not into, or they're just done with them, or but hey, like if you have a book, or maybe you have 2, I don't know, and it's selling for that much money, and like you need to get your kid like braces or something. I mean, can you really fault somebody for being like, I got this book sitting on my shelf and this is a down payment?
Yeah.
You might feel a little guilty over that at some point, especially if you're collecting and then you get caught up in the collecting and then you're like, what am I doing? I have so many books. And like all these books, like when is this bubble going to pop and these books aren't going to be worth anything anymore? And did I get caught up in like, it's a kind of like the Thai Beanie Baby craze. You know how there's always a craze, like a collection
Yes.
craze, Pokemon cards. Is this our adult Thai Beanie Baby Pokemon cards? These
Yeah.
gotta collect all the fancy books.
Yeah.
There's we love them, but like, okay, I have read some of my special editions and signed copies, but like, how many people do? At some
I
point, they're just
don't.
decor.
I mean, I read digitally and then
Hmm.
my paperbacks are mostly books that are special to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And now and then I'll read one because like I'm going on vacation or something. I want to like
Yeah.
hold the book, and I will
Same.
take books off the shelf and I'll open them up randomly and read a part of the book and put them
Hmm.
back up. Like I like having that, like where I can just like, oh, I'm gonna just like do this. Like I do that randomly, like every like week.
Oh,
A
I
few
love
days.
that.
Like I just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. It's part. But yeah,
Hmm.
they're more of like a special thing than
Yeah.
a read thing. Uh it's just easier for me too.
Yeah,
It
it's
saves
kind
your
of a
spot if I put it down. If I
yeah,
put a book down, I'm gonna lose my spot.
right.
But
Well, and I think
I've been trying to do both a little bit more. I mean,
yeah,
it's hard. It's hard when you're a Kindle reader. But yeah, it's more of a special thing. So that yeah. And I can see if you went like overboard on say like the Fourth Wing and you have 5 copies and then you're
yeah.
like, I didn't really like the design of this one or the page
Mhm.
of this one. So I'm gonna sell these two. But like somebody like that, it's like just sell it like not at hundreds, you
Mm,
know, like
or
just get your
like
money back a little
1,000.
bit, you
Yeah.
know, like have shipping maybe paid for both, like the one you got, like and like selling
Mhm.
it. But like beyond that, like I don't know. I'm more of like let's be nice to each other and like
Yeah.
it's like the people who are making a business out of this, like where they're literally
Yes.
purchasing on their credit card and then selling at a higher rate and like making a profit. That's where my
Yeah.
issue comes in on it.
Agreed.
Because some
And
people also miss
mhm.
the opportunity. So that's one of the notes I had, the Off Campus series by Al Kennedy.
Mhm.
They had a book box and I can't remember through who. And I remember seeing it advertised and I was like, oh, I haven't read this yet because we didn't read the series yet for the
Mhm.
and I was like, I feel like I want this. Don't know the book. I don't need to spend the money because it was for the whole series, but it was really cute. The art and everything. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get it. And now I totally because people are now starting to receive their boxes. So I'm starting to see pictures of it. And
Oh,
I'm like, I really want that. And that's the same thing
yeah.
with like the Lord's Kickstarter. But the thing I like the Kickstarters because
Mhm.
it's like you're paying for them to, you get to choose your tier,
Mhm.
at least for the Lord. So Angel and Sam, they you got to pick, you know, do you want just the books? Do you want a couple of merchandise? Do you want like all the things? Like you had tiers and you could pick which one you were going to like sponsor, right? And that's how Kickstarter works. And so you pay for it and then they make it happen. So that one took
Mhm.
a while to get, but it was worth it. Like it was so worth it. Mine are still sitting in the box because we're building a shelf and I'm waiting to reorganize all my books. So I'm like, where are
Mhm.
these going to be highlighted? But I know some people are upset because they were like new fans and they missed the opportunity. But then these authors put out a new special cover on Amazon too. And
Which
then
is
that
very
got me
similar.
though, because I was like, do I need these covers? And then I was like,
Well,
I don't need these. I cannot have, like, because I like the
yeah,
original covers too. I'm like, Sarah, you cannot have 9 books on a bookshelf that
I know,
covers
right?
3 stories, like three. You know what I mean?
Well, then, and I read it somebody in their group say that they actually liked the covers that they put out on Amazon better than their Kickstarter covers.
Mm,
And so, because they have, I think, the spines are the selling point for a lot of people. I mean, the artwork's beautiful, but it's very similar. It's just not shiny. So I think some people like should not be penalized for wanting to sell their Kickstarter because they ended up liking the books that are on
mm,
Amazon more.
yeah.
So I think it definitely depends, when it comes to the resale. Like you said, like you might regret it later or you might find a copy you like better, you know. Um and I think that's nice that they did that to try to combat some
Yeah,
of
to try
the
to make
resales
everybody
because people
happy,
were yeah, because people were
financial
hiking
needs
it
and
up.
everything. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes people do buy it just to hike it up, and it keeps it to where it is special for the people who bought the Kickstarter, that
Mhm,
they get the foil and some they're paying for something that was original, and then they have something similar,
mhm.
and of course it's signed. But I have heard of people, that I guess subscribe to all the book boxes and then immediately go and sell it,
Yeah.
which, that does suck in it. But then
See,
again,
here I am
yeah.
because I'm right now subscribing with the bookish box.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of books where I'm like, okay, I'm interested in that. I'll keep that. But then I'm not afraid to skip. I'm like,
Yeah.
I cannot spend all the money. Like I'm going to go soon because the fall of what's the book? The Fall of Wrath and
Fall of Ruin and Wrath.
yes, Fall of Ruin and Wrath. That book
Mhm.
is the next one. And so I'm like, okay, I won't skip, but I have to. Like my husband's gonna start throwing a
Yeah.
fit if I keep buying books. But I think it's easier when it's like one at a time too.
Yeah.
So
That book is a good point though, because there have been, before the book has even come out, like I think what was it? I sent a graph, like 6 special editions of that book.
mhm.
already, and the book's not even out.
Mhm.
That's a little ridiculous. It's like
It
Owl
is,
Crate
it's a
did
lot.
one, Fairy Loot did one, Bookish Box did one, like some UK store. There's
Mhm.
like a special Barnes and Nobles, like each like so you've got the bookstore special ones. It's like how many before a book even comes out, how many special copies,
Right.
you know, are there going to be, and how many are people going to collect? And again, is it going to burst that
Right.
bubble?
So
So it is a little frustrating because then you do get fear of missing out, and then you might receive one, and you're like, oh, I didn't like this cover, but I liked this cover. So it's just,
it's a big
it's definitely
FOMO
interesting.
time. Like I've
It
thought I
is.
wouldn't feel FOMO much more in my adult life. And now I have this, and it kind of started with the special edition covers, right?
It
So like it
did,
was just like,
especially
oh,
the shiny ones.
like we just have this, here's the one with the guy on it, and here's the one with the flowers on it, or the whatever.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, I like this discreet one, and I like this one, and da 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 da. I guess it was like discreet
Yeah,
was the like big trend. And then like now it's like the special edition. But then I'm also seeing like more of like there's one that an author did, and it's another one that I didn't read the book yet, and I haven't gotten it yet, and I need to, but I ordered it because I was like, I need to have this. Michelle Hercules did one on
oh
her
yeah. Hmm.
hockey romance, Play It Dirty,
Hmm.
but in the middle she has like a comic book thing.
That's so cute.
And I was like, I
Yeah.
saw it, and I'm like, okay, I have to have this.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I took a risk on it, right? It's a gamble. But then there's other people, like that's like from the author, they're doing the work, they're talking to people. And
Yeah.
there's some that are being published now. And what's starting to get to me is the new ones where it's like this person now signed with a publisher and they're changing the cover. So if you want the
Yeah.
original cover, you need this cover's leaving, right? So there's been, I've bought two books because I liked the cover and it said it was changing. One, the cover completely changed. And I was like,
Yeah.
great, because I didn't like the new cover. I liked the OG cover. And I'm like, I'm happy I have this because I love this book. Again, it's like a special thing for me.
Hmm.
Another one I bought because I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to love this book. I've read most of it. I didn't finish it
Hmm.
yet. And they are like, the cover's changing. The cover didn't change. Now there's just a sticker on the cover that says that there's
Really?
extended chapters and extended chapters and bonus scenes. Okay, that makes me angry
Did the
because
cover change, like, the color or something? I think I read that an author had said, like, the cover's changing, but only the color, and that was it.
see, like, but I don't remember that. It was just a quick, like, oh no, I like this aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah,
it.
like,
And
let me
I've
get it
seen it
before
for
it
a
all sells
couple of
out.
people where it's just like the stickers on it now. And it's like, or, like that graphic. And then that's my other thing is like, I just pre ordered a book,
Mhm.
The Graham Effect by Al Kennedy, because I was like, oh, I'm so excited about
Yeah.
this. And there was a store that is also, you can get it signed. If you ordered by a
Mhm.
certain time, pre-ordered, you can get it hand signed by the author,
Mhm.
personalized, and then you get like these
Oh,
little like character cards. So I was like, I'm getting this. And it was cheap. It was like $20. I'm like, oh, like, yes, right.
yeah.
But then I pre-order it, and then like a week later, an email comes out and saying like, well, if you order this edition, first edition from Barnes and Noble, you're going to get extended scenes and a bonus, like each extended chapters and a bonus scene. I'm like, how is that fair? Because I don't
Yeah.
want to now buy the other one. It's not going to be signed. It's
Mhm.
not, but it's now missing out on a bonus scene or two and then some longer chapters. Like I don't like that. Like
Exactly.
put it like Penelope Douglas though, you guys. I
Mhm.
love them because on their website they have the bonus scenes that are going up on the new Devil's Night books.
Oh,
So
I love
yes,
that.
but she's like, they're up here. So and I'm like, thank you, because some of us are going out and buying the original covers, the remake covers, or special edition covers. And
Just to get the scene. Well, and Sarah J. Maas, that her like Crescent City, whatever it's called, the third book in that, I read that like each store, like I think it's like four different stores, depending on where you buy it, has a bonus scene, and it's from like other characters in her universe. So it's like she lists like which store has which bonus scene, and people are like, I gotta get them all, so I can read each bonus scene. And it's like, I don't think that's her choice. I think that's her publisher's
I
choice.
think it's
But
their
that's
way to get you to buy it.
yeah, and
And I
it's
don't
such a
like
money
that.
Yeah, it is kind of a money grab to the fans. It's like, that's not fair. Like, what if they wanna read that scene? Will that scene become available later? Is that gonna promote,
But
which
then
we're
what if it
trying
comes
to.
available later and you went out and bought 5 copies of this book at all these different
True,
stores to get
and
all the scenes, and then a year later there's an anthology and she puts them all on there?
yeah.
Like, that's not
And
fair
then
either.
is it gonna promote piracy, which is something that authors are fighting
It
against,
is.
especially independent authors where it really hurts
Mhm.
them. And then if you put this bonus content, which is great, and the people don't want to spend the money, and then someone's like, "Hey, can you like send this to me?" And then it gets on the internet and it
Mhm.
circulates. And I guess there's no stopping that kind of thing, but like, that might be a line some people start crossing, and you don't
Mhm.
want that to happen because there's like a whole thing now where people are talking about leaving KU, which I personally think, I guess it's another podcast discussion. I think it's very dumb for authors to leave KU because I don't think that half the authors that want to leave KU, I don't think their fans are going to pay for their books or give their books a try.
Yeah.
Not on KU. Angel Lawson wrote a great post about,
She
how it
is
how
so
it was
amazing.
great for her.
Yeah. If
But that's a
you are a
different point.
fan of Angel Lawson, or if you're not, you need to go to her page because she's very straightforward,
Hmm.
and
She's been in the
she'll
industry
see something and
forever.
she's
As
like,
a
you're misunderstanding what's
Yes,
happening. This is
yes,
how it works. And it's been like she's clarified things for me a few times where I don't want to jump on a bandwagon or something, but I'm like watching like this stuff unfold and I'm like, what's
yeah,
going on here? And then she'll post an explanation of like, this is how it works and this is how I get paid and da 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 da. And you're like,
yeah.
oh, okay. So like like she's amazing. She's an amazing
She
person,
is.
but like it's just very there's no BS with her. It's just
Yes.
yeah.
And she's been in self-publishing and on Amazon from its inception. So I just, yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's another podcast
Yeah.
episode to do. But no, it's just with the I love my special editions, like, those are the ones I have displayed. Conventions now, I will say, the first convention that I went to, nobody had special editions, no one had limited editions. It was just all the normal books. 1 year later, special editions out the wazoo. Like every author had a special edition or they were panicking and rushing in order to do some. I had even heard at other conventions that authors had panicked to get special editions done, and then there were errors in the special editions because they were panicking to get it done because they felt like they were missing out. And I get, it's another way to make money. People want them. But, I think it felt like it's kind of like TikTok where they felt like, oh, I need to do this because everyone else is doing this and I can't miss out. And now when I'm looking at other conventions coming up in the future, it looks to be even more so. It's like, I think every author is going to have a special edition, like a sign, like only if you come to this convention.
Yeah.
And I have to say though, it is a supply and demand thing because I think these like books being rare for the authors are good for them. Like I think H.D. Carlton is a great example of somebody who has managed to do a lot of exclusive covers and has like a very cult fan base.
Mhm.
And she'll release on her website like a very small amount of different like special edition covers, and people go crazy for it. The lines were out the wazoo. I heard there was Book Bonanza, her line. I think people like were really intense about it. And that cat and mount duet. I think she has, and no hate about it at all. I think it's smart business, but technically she could just release that duet to everybody. And then everyone could get one. But because you're limiting the supply, it creates a demand, it creates more hype around your books.
Mhm.
It creates this collector thing. She can put out more and more limited edition covers. I mean, some of these people will have like, I mean, I think her fandom, I think, is the craziest that I've seen when it comes to collecting. And no hate at all. I actually madly respect her business model. And don't let me speak out of turn because she might not have the printing capabilities
Right.
to print that many books of that duet. I don't know her printing capabilities. But my point is that if it's coming from the author at least, and even the book box deals, I think it is beneficial to them to have a supply and
Yeah.
demand, to have a want for this. And I'm glad though, because a lot of these are independent authors that need to make money some way or another. Um, it's an interesting issue on
It's
all the
so
sides.
interesting. I'm just
It's
like
the
interested
publishing
because
ones
like
where I'm
I'm
like,
one that's like like the
Mm.
Michelle Hercules comic book thing. I'm like, why doesn't
Yeah.
someone do a bonus scene in like a comic book format? You know, like
It's
I
definitely
would go and buy that. I would like that
yeah.
would be something I would get at a book signing. I'd be like, give me that special thing, you know, like give me
Yeah.
those. So I'm,
Something
but that's who I
different.
am.
Mhm.
I'm not, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have mixed feelings on the
It
things
can
because
go
we're
yeah, there's
buying
a
them,
lot
but
of
we're also
feeling.
like, when's this gonna stop? um,
And it's yeah. Mhm.
so I
Let me
mean,
just say really quick though, when back before all this craze happened, when they announced that they were redoing Caroline and Suzanne announced that they were redoing the dark Fae covers. And I understand why they were doing that. And I think a lot of authors, were updating covers because like, different trends go out of
yeah.
style to get the books, to fit more with what's going on. I got one of the covers and I thought about getting the whole series. I'm like, that's a lot of money to invest. I'm sure I don't need to do that. That is one of the hardest books to get the old covers for. So sometimes when a book is going out of, ever since that, I've kind of had that, oh no, they're like changing covers. What if it becomes like
You get a
uh
panic. You
dark
get a
fate?
panic.
Yes,
And
you do get a
then
panic. Like this
if
is
it's a
it. This is
if it's a
it.
series you love,
Yeah.
I've been like, maybe I just get the first book. Like I'll get the first book.
Yeah.
And then if they do another special edition, I'll get the second book of the series. And then if they do another one of the series, I'll get the third. Like, and I'll just have like a different one for each book, because it's
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, and because I think what's different between like Beanie Babies and Pokemon card, well, I don't know. I can't speak for the Pokemon lovers, but I think it's that we love the story so much. And, if the power goes out or something happens, they're not just something pretty to look at. We can crack them open and say, what the heck, and read our pretty special editions. So it
Mhm.
contains, stories that we love.
Yeah.
So yeah, special editions. It's definitely fascinating how many there are these days.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little, it's a lot.
It's
Um,
a lot.
so one question, because like we do have mixed, like, like Megan and
Yeah.
I are not against them, but we're
No, not at
also
all.
like, whoa there. Um, if we had, so my question is for us,
Yeah.
because it is pricey, right? If we had no budget, if you had
Yeah.
no budget whatsoever, like what would you get? Like what special edition like series would you be like, I'm getting this? Like it doesn't even have to exist yet. But like if there's a series out there and it's all done in special edition and it's like super pricey.
Mhm.
Like for
But I
me,
had no
I would get the
budget?
Vandals one by Heather
Do
Long,
you mean I
right?
have an unlimited budget or do
Yeah,
you like
like
what
you won the lottery and you're set for life and your children and your grandchildren and their grandchildren and da 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 are
Mhm.
fine. Like you're now like the
Yeah.
richest person on earth.
Okay.
Because like I would get the Vandals because I didn't because and then I think I
It's
would
12
get
books and it's
like
expensive. Yeah. Me too. I would get Vandals as well, for sure.
and Hannaford
Vandals.
Prep. If Hannaford Prep came out with like a
With
special edition, I think I
yeah.
would
I
splurge.
mean, I would just get the omnibus too because I've always wanted
I
that.
never gotten that. Yeah, I just have
Yeah.
the 5 books.
Yeah, I definitely would get Heather's because again, like in Frankie's book, 12 books is just I can't afford it.
Mhm.
Definitely Heather's. Um, is it just one, did you say? Or
No,
renaming a couple? I
yeah, you
mean,
can name a couple.
I would like to complete my old school Dark Fae covers. Um, for a while I really liked that got the one that was going for $1,000 of Fourth Wing. That was from oh my gosh, that one that was from that like box smut something or other.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I was looking at the covers of books the other day, and I saw the exact cover for a different book. So I'm like, that picture was like one of those things where they like, took a crop, they bought a photo and just changed her hair, and I was like, okay, this kind of brought down that cover for me. It doesn't see. I thought it was like original artwork for Fourth Wing, and then I saw the cover on something else, and I was like browsing graphic audio, so I was like, oh, this doesn't seem as special to me. So I would have said that. Gosh, whole series. I don't know. I mean, especially with some of the Tate James books, she sold to Bloom.
CM. I didn't even think about CM.
Well, she doesn't have the special covers yet, but
Yeah, I
I'm,
know, but
when she does,
if she did,
if she did, I really want Lost Daughter of a Serial Killer's just books. They look really pretty on the
right,
spines,
they
and
do.
I need to complete my Burberry collection too. So there are some books that I want that aren't even special, covers that I just want to complete. That's hard. This is a hard question.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a bunch coming that you know, decided to get, and then I am skipping some, and now I'm really when I get those newsletters and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be in about,"
Yeah,
I'm
I need to
I'm
unsubscribe.
right.
I
It's like
have
cutting our credit cards, right? It's like
it is.
I can't see it
And
anymore. I can't.
I was the person that told you don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Now
No,
I'm doing it.
I
Now
know.
I'm doing
I know. So it's a problem. We have
I've
a
been sucked in.
problem over
I will say
here.
I got the Kings of Quarantine one. I love that series. And I was excited because it was gonna arrive around Christmas. And it didn't show the covers, and I was like, I trust it, it's going to be like, it says it's going to have foil and edges. I'm like, okay, this will be great. And then somebody, I guess they showed the cover, someone posted it in the group willy-nilly. I'm like, thanks for ruining my Christmas, because now the surprise is gone. Like,
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get the books, but I was like, oh, I'm going to save this to open on Christmas, so I won't know what they look like. So I'm really bummed about that. I
Yeah.
think we both talked about how we're bummed about people
Spoilers.
spoiling mystery boxes and special editions. It's like, dude, put a spoiler warning.
Yeah. Well, my thing is for
You're
some
spending a lot
reason,
of money.
I always get mine's like the last group to ship. Always. I don't know why.
Yeah, you are.
And so like everyone's getting it and they're like, look at my book, look at my book. And I'm like, what? Like the one I got, like the last time it happened, like they had to send a bunch of books back or something and get them reprinted. So I was like super delayed, but there was no message like, hey, your order's like delayed because of this. So I was like, where's my order? Like, and that one had Problem Child in it. And that's the only book there. It came with 3 books. I sold the other books and I just did it at cost, everybody, at cost and shipping.
Not
Actually
that
I
we're
lost
judging
because
people that
media
don't.
mail went up after I made the deal with the person. So
Hmm.
I actually didn't even get all my shipping covered.
Oh,
But
that was nice of you.
it's the
Hmm.
well, like she wanted one of the books. I didn't want that book. I wanted Problem Child. So but it took forever. And I was like, it's always me. I'm always the last to get
Oh,
shipped. And like I saw a thing like Mindfuck's shipping early, which I'm like, yes, I want to see what this looks. Well, I see it, but like
now
I
I'm
want it.
excited for you
And
to see it.
then they're like, oh, it'll take 2 weeks to like we're expecting 2 weeks of shipping to happen, right? Like, so we'll
Yeah,
do it over the course of the last 2 weeks of September. I'm like, oh, okay. So mine's shipping October 1st. Like that's like it's just like
yes, of course, of course.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, okay. All right. Well,
Well,
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, oh my gosh, where did it go? I was gonna say something about, oh yeah, okay, so I'm on a team for an author who was shipping out arcs, like paperback arcs. The first time she did it, she just like it didn't say arc on it, but it was like, the shiny, pretty books, and I loved it. It was such a great gift. And then she did it for another book, and it like said arc on it and everything, and it's really special, one of a kind. And not only was I the last person to get it, but I never got it. And the thing is, everyone was saying, oh, if they're delayed, especially to the US. And I was like, okay, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And then, like, what do you do when someone's giving you a free book? Do you like message them and be like, "Hey, I never got that free book I didn't ask for that you were so kindly shipping me?" Um, like, I mean, because it was way past when the books came out. It's just how the shipping worked. So, like, to this day, I really regret not messaging them and just being like, "Hey, just wanted to let you know in case you can get your money back from the post." But I really regret that. This is before all these like covers got so big and stuff, and it gets my goat. It gets my goat because I would have loved that book.
Yes, yes, you would have.
So I feel you there. I feel you there. It's like last to receive or don't if
Mhm.
you don't receive it. Oh, and one quick mention too, dust jackets are another thing. I keep seeing, especially with Fourth Wing, like a million different dust jackets. So that just adds another like a whole new ball game. I like it because people who miss out on the boxes can buy dust jackets for the books they already have.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great alternative to some of these special editions, but also it's like tempting. It's an
It
interesting
is.
bookish world.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I'll be excited to see, 10 years from now if people are still as crazy about these editions or
Right.
what.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody wait 10 years and start buying from used bookstores. You'll see them.
Oh gosh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we'll see when we go to oh gosh, I'm scared for going to a book convention and my wallet. I gotta start cutting myself off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay,
Well, on
everybody.
that note,
Thanks for
let us
listening
know
to
what
us.
you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know what you think of special editions in the group or in the comments.
Yeah. Even if you just want to show that you have the FOMO or you're like, no, nope, don't have the budget, I stay
Or
away.
here's my collection.
Yeah. Share your pictures.
And
Okay.
special editions.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.